Francis, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Asian Vision Dialogue. Our topic today will be one very much interesting to especially everyone, especially the youth of Cambodia, which is the youth perspective on the role of social media in politics, especially in the current era. The youth perspective on the role of social media is a topic of significant interest and importance in today's digital age. The understanding on how young people preserve and engage with social media very much can provide an insight into the dynamics and the evolution of political participations and, of course, democracy. Today, we are honored to have our graceful guest, which is one of my favorite person in the world. Could you introduce yourself to our guest, our friends?
Hello, listeners. My name is Saray Watane, and I am a senior in IISPP.
Yes. So, without further ado, let's jump right into today's episode. So, first thing first, before we go any further, we all know that social media has very much played a bigger role in everyone's life. So, in what way do you think social media has influenced the political belief or other opinions of the youth, especially the next generation?
I think for where I stand, I think the evolution of what you can say that social media, that the position that it is having today truly is groundbreaking in a sense for political beliefs.
Yeah.
If we take a look back at years ago, maybe even only in 10 years, the position that we could compare between then and now is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Where because of the accessibility that social media has now become, where people have their own smartphones, tablets and whatnot, the evolution of the internet, free internet and whatnot.
Yeah.
This gives in I guess both positive and negatives, as people are now able to be more engaged in political talks or sharing their political beliefs.
Yeah.
A lot more easier, where before we could see that to have political engagements we require socialization, where people must be at specific places to share their own thoughts and opinions. While now, people can just express however they believe just through a simple couple clicks on their smartphones, and they can freely express what they believe.
Yeah.
As it allows more diversity, where the younger generation are now able to have thoughts and opinions a lot more freely, where before it was restricted, as people believe that a certain age of people should not be talking about politics.
Yeah.
But now accessibility allows youth to express their own opinions. But of course, there is a silver lining here, where there could be bad takes, there could be controversial takes on political beliefs. But if we're talking about a country like Cambodia, for example, we don't really have too much engagement in politics, I think this diversity allows our country to have a reform or some sort of structural change, where now this is something new, and it can be a norm to further progress engagements politically and expressing their beliefs and what they think is best for their country.
Yeah, as a university student myself, specializing in IO majors, I very much agree. The idea of having social medias provide you and provide all our classmates, our friends who watch this episode, the gateway and access to engage politically online and to better themselves, to understand how what the world is look like, for example. So diving deeper into the question of concern and silver lining, I would like to take us to another the second question, which is what do you see are the some of the major concern of having all of these accessibility, social media to youth?
I think one of the biggest, in my opinion, I think there is no limitations.
Yeah.
Because the internet is just there. Governments or any political actors globally do not have their hands into this. This is a free space.
Yeah.
Thus, causes people to, of course, speak however they wish.
Yes.
Where some people could, have their own controversial takes because the way that they were brought into society and their upbringings would allow them to have different opinions. So I think this openness could cause some sort of detrimental issues which of course we now see every day, that it has done some impacts negatively. But I think for us to somehow limit them and limit its impact and giving restrictions to this inclusivity might also cause issues, because it is now a norm for internet users to freely speak how they wish.
Yeah.
So to hold them accountable would be, I guess, pretty bad in simpler terms.
No, I wouldn't put it bad, but just a very, very hard, like the line between freedom of speech, the line between what should and should not be regulated. For example, of course, we all respect the international norm of freedoms, and all of this are great, but introducing this idea, right, in the social media space is quite hard, because most of social media is taking away the consequences of saying not only controversial, but by putting their ideas, it's sort of whether it's fake or whether it's real, it sort of remove the consequences. So in a way, like, everyone is free to talk however they talk. And
I would also like to add the fact that because of this accessibility, I think there's no such thing as a correct answer. Also, because people have their own beliefs and interests in some things, so to have political correctness is also quite difficult, as some people have certain beliefs, so they will choose to believe a certain part of what they look at and the information that they are fed on the internet, so they believe in a certain thing, and some people would have difference that believe that what they're hearing is correct. So overall, it's basically quite a...
it's a mess.
Yeah, it's a mess.
It's quite a mess. Okay, now let me discuss some of the advantage, like openness, inclusivity, and everything that allowed us more freedom and access to political idea and better ourselves. But at the same time, we also talk about like the silver lining, like the concern with the idea of misinformation, the idea of having different diversity and controversial takes everywhere. So so let's put all of this in the case, right? I would like to think, for example, like to give your opinion on the role of social media. For example, like in major political cases that we see like in the 20th century. For example, like Donald Trump riot on July the 6th of 2021. So what do you think that the idea of social media has played a role in that, for example?
I think, again, there will always be no correct answer or correct side of the whole spectrum. But I think social media did quite exaggerated the issue further, where a political actor such as Donald Trump, who are of course beloved by his supporters and whatnot, he in a sense, managed to take advantage of this openness that social media is acquired, where, like you said, nobody would essentially punish him in a sense where it's the internet, it's social media. Nobody have given restrictions towards his opinions.
Yeah.
So they could essentially just, as he did, he essentially caused an issue by the attack on the Capitol.
Yeah.
So social media can certainly be used to extend a certain person, whoever they are, it doesn't matter, where it can be used as a propaganda boost, because algorithms and feeds and news and whatnot can just freely flow as long as it's in this digital space.
Yeah. Also, bringing back a bit in Asia, for example, we all know that most of the developing countries is in the region of Asia, especially the ASEAN country.
Yeah.
Southeast Asian country are in the stage of development, great development. So our actually final question of the day: do you think that the social media, the role of social media in politics, will continue and will play a role in the political development in the ASEAN country, for example?
I see. So for me, I think social media would simply play a big role probably until whatever evolution or revolution that technology could take us, because at this current moment of time, social media and its expansion is definitely such an essential tool to spread I guess beliefs or any opinions, regardless of whether it's political or not, because it's such a tool. Well, before it essentially it breaks the gap of geographical boundaries, where you don't have to be at a certain place at a certain time to travel physically to have an engagement with whoever. This digital space allows opinions to free flow as they wish.
Yeah.
So for ASEAN countries, I think now is the time for countries to, especially in this region, to essentially adopt, I guess, social media as more of a norm, as a tool to allow political, I guess, engagement to happen a lot more freely. But again, coming back to silver linings and consequences, I think because we are developing countries, despite we know the existence of social media and the internet and technology, I think gradually applying it would be much more of a better idea to not cause detrimental issues.
Yeah.
Where we can't really allow, while the diversity in opinions is good, but to suddenly apply it in one time where it wasn't really done before could cause a lot of problems in the long run. Yeah, fractures.
Yeah, I also quite agree with your opinion as well. Saying the idea of introductions of politics, just free flow everywhere, can cause somewhat of fraction, especially with a complex region as in Southeast Asia. So thank you very much for joining us today. So all in all, the youth perspective on the role of social media here is very important and very dynamic. By examining how youth interact, how the people interact with social media, we can look at their behavior, and we can see and we can observe the development of social media, technology, and politics all together. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining us today. Hopefully you can join us at another episode.